Hello, my name is Jordan. I'm going to be leading you through this basic arrangement for You Are My Sunshine in the key of G, playing it two-finger style, but an easy two-finger style, right? Something that's not too demanding for our picking hand. It's based off the melody, so it's very accessible to beginners and gets us adding in some extra notes without adding too much challenge. I'll also go over some of the licks and variations that we have on Tunefox that you can explore, and then talk about some technique tips that will help you play this more smoothly, and some practice tips that will help you learn it in a more effective and efficient way. While this one's pretty easy, I'll still suggest that you make sure you learn the basic melody first. So make sure you check out that melody in the key of G for You Are My Sunshine. As I said, this one is great for beginners. Sometimes Scruggs style tunes or even just regular two-finger banjo can be a little bit intimidating for beginners because it will demand a bit of speed from your picking hand. But as I said, we're just adding in some extra notes without adding too much extra challenge. It's not going to require you to play at blazing fast speeds, but it's going to allow you to add in some extra stuff. And just get to exercising your fingers in a way that will also help develop them for whenever you are ready to add in those kind of quicker notes. The other good thing about this is it's very easy timing wise, right? We're not having to wait an odd amount of beats or pick a bunch of fast notes and then play some that come at half the speed, right? It's all coming in a steady stream of eighth notes as we have it written out here. So it's just and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 da 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 da. So like I said, just a steady stream of notes, easy timing. It's just easy. And with a little bit of practice and finger preparation, you can do it. As I said, we're playing this one in two-finger style. So basically all of the lead notes, basically every note except the notes we're playing with the fifth string will be played with our index finger. So we're just going to be leaving this thumb here on the fifth string, and the index finger is going to be the thing that's jumping around to pick all these different notes. All right, I'm going to play through it to give you an example of how this thing will sound. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. As you could hear, I was playing those melody notes a little bit louder. I was accenting them, trying to bring those melody notes out. And in the tablature in Tunefox, you can see there's kind of that little greater than sign above each of those notes. That's kind of the classical symbol for accent, which means to play just a little bit harder. Now that's something that you would want to add after you have down the basic timing, right? That's something extra. So that's kind of something extra to reach for after you have the basics down. Don't try to start with that if you struggle to just play this through as is without accents. You want to get down that basic timing and all the right notes first and be able to play it cleanly. So some of the challenges that you may face here. One, probably just moving that index finger around between those different strings. Something that you could do to practice that is just practice moving your index finger around from one string to another. So play 4th string, 3rd string. Right? Just practice bouncing back and forth between those different strings. You could also practice this thing using the focus feature with Tunefox, a measure at a time. That's a great way to kind of work on a piece at a time and really get it down before putting the whole together. The other thing you'll have to watch out for is finger preparation with your fret hand, right? So having fingers kind of curled and above the strings and frets that you need them before you need them there. For example, talking about finger preparation, when I'm starting this tune, I've already got my first finger touching this 4th string. thumb is resting on the 5th string, even though I don't play that until the 2nd note in measure 1, right? And the other thing I would do is have this middle finger curled and above the 2nd fret G note, above the string as well, right? That's going to help. We want to prepare as much as possible. That's going to minimize our errors and eventually help us play faster. Takes a while to build that up, but it's just something to think about that will help us play this better. Make sure to make listening a part of your practice. So try to listen to this a few times through before each practice session to start to memorize how it sounds. And if you look at the tablature, you will also notice that we've got lyrics below this. So even though we have those extra notes, you can really clearly see which notes are based on the melody, both by the accent that's above them and the words that show you how they tie in to that original lyrical melody. And this one moves slow enough that if you wanted to, instead of trying to use index and thumb, we could just try to use the thumb the whole time. And that would also be a good exercise for alternating your thumb between the different strings, right? And if you're up for a challenge, try to learn it both ways, both in the 2-finger style and playing it all with your thumb. Now, when you start to check out some of the licks, there's going to be some notes that come a little bit quicker, and we're going to have to try to stick to the suggested fingerings that are in the tablature for those licks. And the licks here are just going to be some melodic variations, right? So some things that kind of give us a little bit different perspective, that stray a little bit from maybe the exact way and the exact rhythm of the original melody, but just play it in a new, cool, and interesting way. And they're also going to show how we can add in some standard 2-finger patterns like the bum diddy fill-in to give you that classic 2-finger banjo sound. All right, check out the 2-finger lick for measure 4. Here's what it sounds like by itself. Right? So it's still using all of those melody notes. They're just kind of organized in a different way. It's a little melodic variation. Here's what it sounds like in context. All right, so that's just a pretty nice little melodic variation that doesn't add a lot of challenge that you can check out in Tunefox. All right, the 2-finger lick for measure 3 adds in a bit of that bum diddy fill-in pattern I was talking about. So it is a little bit extra challenge for your picking hand, but if we have our pick hand fingers prepared, that's going to make it a little bit easier to achieve. Here's what it sounds like on its own. Right, so those extra notes come a little bit faster. Make sure to use the focus feature and make listening a part of your practice so you can memorize how it sounds. And if you need to, use that tempo slider to practice it at slower speeds. Here's what this lick sounds like in context. Right, so that kind of bum diddy fill-in gives us, a little bit more typical banjo sound when we think of like a more embellished banjo version of a tune or melody. All right, so we got a nice basic version for you to check out, some cool licks to explore. Make sure to dive in and have fun with this one and all the variations. And after you get comfortable with this easier 2-finger style arrangement, that's, as I said, we're doing more index lead, check out the other 2-finger arrangement that's a little bit more typical, maybe a little bit more demanding of your pick hand, but we're playing that with the thumb as a lead. So we get a little bit different perspective when diving in with that tune on how to interpret You Are My Sunshine for 2-finger banjo. All right, that's all we have for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep picking and stay tuned.